me personally, with my marketing background and then moving into the recruitment side, so I've probably got a really different viewpoint on this part compared to most. But I think what's really lacking during a recruitment process is any kind of communication strategy from the client,
Mhm.
and having a focus on, again, treating it like a sales process to find their right candidate, and having
Yeah.
that kind of multi-touch point, because we can go, we've talked about the bottlenecks, so it could be weeks at a time between interview process, hopefully
Yep.
not. But things like, a thank you email afterwards,
Yep.
or having like a short mission statement video with a CEO,
Mhm.
or a document containing kind of the 5 and 10 year plan, or something like that, or behind the scenes day in the life of the role that they're going for.
Yep.
Just stuff that's going to set apart that company and become an employer of choice. I think
Yep.
that's the really important thing, and treating it like a process to actively sell to the ideal candidate at the end of that process, and building the company as somewhere the candidate wants to work for, he wants to stay at,
Yep.
and wants to do that job specifically. I think that's, if I was going to give any company my one piece of marketing recruitment advice, it's build an engaging communication strategy that complements your recruitment process.
And check in with your talent acquisition team to make sure it's actually happening.
Yes, yeah, that as well. Accountability. That's what it's about. There was one stat that I came across the other day. I can't remember the source, but it was valid. Um, in warehouse logistics, 76% of supervisors left the operation due to a lack of progression opportunities, not the money.
Right, okay.
We've all seen job ads getting battered left, right, and centre for saying free fruit or free
Yeah.
coffee
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And really, it's right. Those things are a given. We're not talking about that. We're talking about actual kind of progression opportunities, that are proven, and have kind of happened in that organization. We're talking about kind of projected development time. We're talking about mentorship. We're talking about actual pathways created for that person. There was one company I can't remember the name of, but they built, from any position you are in the company, there was a pathway to get to any other position,
All right,
and kind
okay.
of mapping that out in terms of, right, this is what you've got to do, this is how you get there, and building that visibility, because otherwise you are literally fishing around in the dark.
Yeah.
So that was something that I thought was staggering, to be honest. And I think, as a focus, not just warehouse logistics, but I think every operation needs to look at their strategy to developing talent, because it is becoming harder and harder to recruit at the top and in the middle.
Yep.
So build that out from the bottom,
Yep.
make it easier for yourself
Absolutely.
as a company.
Yeah. I think that's great advice.
Yeah. So I've been speaking to a lot of ops managers this year so far, and ops directors, and kind of business leaders. And one thing that has definitely become more and more apparent as the year has gone on is the role of the ops managers changing,
Good.
or it has changed,
Yep.
right? Predominantly, you brought in your ops manager, they'd build out your processes, they'd improve the efficiency, develop your SOPs, and,
Yep.
all of that great kind of operational improvement stuff, right? Whereas now, it definitely feels like there's been a shift,
Absolutely.
and it's now more about people leadership,
Absolutely.
because we're probably at a stage now where processes have been developed extensively within every industry. Don't get me wrong, you could improve them, but we've got a workforce now that I feel craves that kind of leadership, and then kind of that drive, and motivation, and arm over the shoulder type approach. I think that's really filtered into the operations manager role, where we're now looking for more kind of emotional
Yep.
intelligence, coaching mindset, and
Yep.
really that data driven decision making, with the amount of data that's tracked now in every industry, and the ease and access of that data. I think that's become really important in being able to analyze the data, and produce kind of actual outcomes off the back of it. So
Yep.
yeah, it's been a really interesting transition. I've really enjoyed kind of speaking to ops managers about that change and how they're handling it. But I'd love to hear from you, if you're an ops manager, or if you ops director and above, or even below. Have you seen a shift in the main responsibility for those ops manager from a process development point of view to a people management point of view. Love to hear what you think. Drop your responses in the comments below.
Okay, so up till now, obviously, we've been quite serious about all of the things that we've discussed, but we thought we might share one of our industry jokes with you. And I'm sure that in each of your industries, whichever that is, there's an in joke that every warehouse knows, and it just sort of goes around the whole industry. Well, um, for us, this one is my favourite, which is I recently went for an interview and. I thought it had gone pretty well. Got back in my car, was driving home, and the phone rang, and it was the managing director I'd just interviewed with, and he said to me, "Congratulations, you've got the job." And it did surprise me a little bit. Fortunately, I was on quite lonely country roads at the time, so because I swerved a little bit with the shock. About 15, 20 minutes later, he called me back again and said to me, "I've just decided that I'm not going to put you in as a manager. I'm actually going to put you in as ops director." Which obviously was an even bigger shock as I hadn't applied for that role. And I swerved again back across the other side of the road. And then 15, 20 minutes later, he calls me up again and says to me, "I've decided I'm quitting. So you're now the managing director. Congratulations." Obviously, that was such a massive shock. Not only did I swerve across the road, I went down the embankment and put the car into a tree. When the policeman turned up and said, "Bloody hell, what's happened here?" I said, "I don't know. I just careered off the road." Didn't,
Every
didn't.
time that,
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
Uh,
So if you think you've got an equally bad joke or one that's better, reach out and share it with us. Put it in the comments below. Send us a video, whatever you want to do. Look forward to hearing them.